Hello everyone, and welcome back to Otherworldly Encounters, where you're invited to share your NDE, OBE, spiritual or paranormal stories by submitting them to the email address provided here and in the channel's description. Feel free to remain anonymous, and I'll do my best to feature your story in an upcoming video. Today, we have a captivating near-death experience to share, submitted by Naomi, so let's get right to it. For about 2 weeks, I grappled with a hearing issue in one ear. Suspecting a sinus infection, a familiar symptom from previous experiences, I consulted my doctor. Following the consultation, I was prescribed a 10-day course of antibiotics. However, on the 7th day, an unexpected turn of events occurred. I developed a rash resembling hives. The rash swiftly spread from my face to my trunk and then to my extremities. Having experienced hives in childhood, I relied on the effectiveness of antihistamines to alleviate the symptoms. However, this time, despite taking Benadryl, relief eluded me. As the day progressed, the rash intensified, and my face started to swell. Fearing the possibility of my throat closing, I made the decision to head to the emergency room. Despite the crowded emergency room, a compassionate nurse, evidently alarmed by my condition, directed me to a chair in front of her. Swiftly, a staff member emerged into the bustling waiting room and ushered me into an examination room. Within minutes, the doctor arrived and inquired about my condition. After assessing the situation, the doctor promptly instructed the nurse to administer intravenous steroids, Benadryl, and Pepsid, suspecting a severe drug reaction, likely triggered by the antibiotic. Following the treatment, I was discharged with a regimen of oral steroids, Benadryl, Pepsid, and Zyrtec, all to be continued at home as per the provided instructions. The following day, I awoke to find myself covered in more raised red bumps, and the unbearable itching persisted. Frustrated with the lack of relief from the medication, I returned to the emergency room. While the doctor expressed displeasure at my return, they administered intravenous medications once again, this time at a higher dosage. Upon discharge, I was prescribed an extended course of prednisone, an increased dose of Benadryl, and the same doses of Pepsid and Zyrtec. The stern advice was not to return unless experiencing breathing difficulties. The rash intensified, accompanied by a searing sensation as my skin turned a vivid shade of red, resembling a severe sunburn. The situation worsened as the skin on my face and lips began to peel, followed by a startling peeling of the skin on my entire body. Initially, I believed the peeling marked the resolution of the rash, and I was pleasantly surprised by my improved appearance. My face seemed rejuvenated, akin to the effects of a chemical peel, and I found the transformation appealing. However, my optimism was short-lived as the burning sensation resumed. Concern crept in as I became anxious about the possibility of the new layer of skin drying up, peeling off, and potentially leaving my skin too thin. I hesitated to return to the ER the following day, opting instead to contact my primary care doctor. At 10 a.m., I left a message with the office, but unfortunately, received no response. By 1 p.m., with my skin peeling off for a second time and a fever setting in, I made a second attempt to contact the office, yet the silence persisted. Frustrated and with growing concerns, my husband drove me to the office, only to find out they were unable to accommodate me. I was informed that they were fully booked and assured someone would call to schedule an appointment later in the week. Frustration surged within me, and I insisted on seeing a doctor. Unfortunately, I was met with the same response: no one was available. Anxious and concerned about my deteriorating condition, we reluctantly left the office and decided to return to the ER, despite the absence of any breathing difficulties on my part. At the ER desk, I checked in once again, only to find myself left sitting in the waiting room for an extended period of time. Sensing my temperature rising, I began to shiver, and an intense thirst set in. After enduring a 2-hour wait, my husband, growing increasingly concerned about my deteriorating condition, took it upon himself to stand in a lengthy check-in line. His goal was to inquire about the delay and alert the staff to the urgency of my situation. An additional hour elapsed before a doctor attended to me, conducting necessary blood work. The results revealed a troubling reality: I was in kidney failure. An abnormal count of white cells, some excessively high and others strikingly low, underscored the severity of my condition. Consequently, I was directed to the burn unit, where a diagnosis of D.R.E.S.S syndrome was pronounced. D.R.E.S.S, an acronym for drug reaction with eosinophilia and systemic symptoms, marked a critical turning point. It was within the confines of the burn unit that I experienced the profound event of my passing. The transition to my passing occurred with surprising swiftness, and suddenly, I found myself gazing downward, witnessing someone in a hospital bed, covered with bandages. A profound certainty gripped me. I recognized that figure as myself. The familiarity emanated from the distinct haircut and personal items neatly arranged by the bedside. Baffled by how a rash could lead to my swift demise, my thoughts swirled as I ascended higher. Soon, I found myself in an otherworldly realm where a diverse assembly of people gathered. Some seemed to seamlessly belong, while others wore expressions of bewilderment. Suddenly, a woman appeared seemingly out of nowhere. I couldn't place her, and although she had gray hair, her radiance was unmistakable. With a warm smile, she addressed me by my name and stated, "You haven't seen me since you were a child, but you know who I am." 2 golden retrievers bounded up to her, and she affectionately mentioned, "These are my children." The entire encounter struck me as peculiar and left me with a sense of wonder. In response to my inquiry about our location, she calmly affirmed, "Yes, we are in heaven, but I am only here to tell you that you need to go back." Confused, I questioned, "How can I go back if I am dead?" Her reply held a reassuring certainty, "You are here too early, so you will go back, even if you try to stay." Desiring answers to a multitude of questions, I hesitated, contemplating the potential consequences of lingering too long. Fearing I might lose my way back into my body, if such a return was even feasible, I swiftly surveyed my surroundings, absorbing as much as possible. I made a deliberate effort to capture a vivid mental snapshot of the enchanting scene, a beautiful woman and her dogs. Suddenly, a subtle sound, akin to a low-volume car horn, resonated, and just like that, I found myself back in my body. Upon returning home after a full 2 weeks of recovery in the hospital, I felt a sense of relief, although still in the ongoing process of recovery. The following week, a message from my sister arrived in my inbox. The subject line delivered unexpected news: Cousin Rose died. As I opened the email, an attached obituary unveiled a picture of Rose, a beautiful 74-year-old accomplished attorney with gray hair. The obituary painted a picture of a woman who, despite not having children of her own, held a deep love for animals, particularly golden retrievers. She had 2 cherished retrievers she referred to as her children. Strikingly, the date of her passing aligned precisely with the day of my heavenly encounter with that radiant woman in heaven. As I processed the news of Cousin Rose's passing, a deep conviction settled within me. The encounter with the radiant woman and her golden retrievers in that heavenly realm felt more than just a fleeting vision, it was a connection with Rose's spirit. In my heart, I knew I had encountered her in a place beyond our understanding. This realization brings a profound sense of purpose. I feel compelled not only to share this comforting message with Rose's grieving family, assuring them that Rose's spirit endures in a place filled with love and companionship, but also with others who have lost their dear ones. It's a message of solace, a reminder that our connections with those we love transcend the boundaries of life and death, offering hope to all who grieve. If you found Naomi's story intriguing, I invite you to show your support by giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Your support is invaluable in helping our community grow. Make sure to hit the notification bell so you can stay informed whenever a new video is released. For those with their own extraordinary tales, don't hesitate to share your story by sending a written account to the email address provided here. Your stories contribute to the richness of our community. Thank you so much for watching, and I genuinely hope to have you back with us again soon.